Hey, you're looking good today. This is Frank in the Brazil Times newsroom, and here's what's happening. In fact, a lot going on over the weekend. Let's start with today's edition of the Brazil Times. The potential foul weather moved the first free concert and Armed Forces Day celebration activities at Forest Park, but it didn't dampen the spirit of the crowd who came out. We're really pleased with the turnout, said event organizer Janet McClellan. She admitted the rainy weather and grim forecast might have kept the crowds away from Shane Lunsford's concert, just hoping those who have come out have a great time and they come back for the next concert in June. They're going to be doing those concerts once a month on a Saturday. And of course, then starting later this month, the Brazil Concert Band will return with their every Sunday concerts at Forest Park as well. So a lot to be seen and done on Saturday and Sundays. Also, we might mention the concert Saturday night also featured a special presentation by the American Legion and VFW Post 1127. And we were talking to Randy Kelber, the commander of the American Legion Post, Saturday night, and that went very well indeed. It was somewhat cold and dreary, but Brazil resident Leisha Brown was very happy at least it wasn't raining during the Wegener's Awareness 5K Saturday morning at Forest Park. I'm so thankful to everyone for coming out today, Brown told the 32 runners and walkers who participated in the event despite the ugly weather. We don't have that great of a turnout, but small is mighty, right? And also on Saturday morning, a little bit later in the day, was the Rotary Fun Run. And there was a good turnout for that. Unfortunately, about the time they started running, the rain started pouring at the same time. So everyone got drenched, but I think all the kids had a great time. Everybody got a medal who participated in the fun run. So congratulations to all those folks and the adults who helped them out. And we also have a story in today's paper. Money raised in November's Festival of Trees is benefiting Clay County youth in various ways. Earlier this month, representatives of St. Vincent-Clay Hospital and Community Development presented a check for $5,700 to April Mishler, who teaches at Meridian St Elementary, and she said that money will pay for their backpack program for a year. Also, there was a representative there from St. Vincent Health office in Indianapolis who said that they are going to be sending out surveys. The surveys will not try to determine the individuals who are benefiting from the backpack program, but rather they want to make sure that the program is helping families to feel more sufficient with their food. In other words, so that they are less concerned about where the next meal's coming from. And then, depending on how that survey turns out, they will determine the efficiency of the backpack program at Meridian St Elementary. Now, that's just one of 17 schools around the state that are benefiting from St. Vincent Health. And those 17 schools are in communities where there is a St. Vincent hospital. So they are going to be looking at this in the whole as well as in individual situations to determine how effective the program is. Spring has sprung, and farmers are busy preparing fields for planting, which means large, slow-moving farm equipment will be traveling along roadways. According to information from the Purdue Extension Office, there are now more than 58,000 farms in Indiana, and many of those farmers will be moving equipment between fields this spring and again in the fall during the harvest season. So be careful when you're out and about, if you would. Try to keep those people safe and yourself safe as well. Okay, let's see. Looking inside, we've got more on those stories. And an AP story from Elkhart County. Many businesses are struggling to find workers as the area is experiencing the lowest unemployment rate in 17 years. The county's unemployment rate in April was 2.8%, according to the Elkhart Truth. This is the lowest since 2.2% in October 2000. So I guess that's a double-edged sword. You want low unemployment, but that means that there are plenty of jobs that are being filled. All right, on our opinion page, Mrs. Ivy Jacobs, I should say. I've called her Miss Ivy for years. She asks the question, "Are you okay?" in her column today. And we've got an editorial from the Fort Wayne News Sentinel. Also, this week, that year in Clay County, we're looking at May 21 to 27, 1944. We see that from Brazil, there were 3 brothers, all with the name Kiefer, all from the same family, who were involved in the war at the same time. You know, it's hard enough when you have one son, one brother who's serving in the military, but all 3 of them were from the same family, and you can read about that in today's edition of the Brazil Times as part of that column that I call This Week and That Year in Clay County. And by the way, we want to mention the Brazil Public Library. We sure appreciate their archives. If you ever want to do any research on Clay County, that's the place to go, is the Brazil Public Library. Well, let's see. Susan Thomas is here. Glad to see you're here today, Susan. You missed it. We've already talked about the Rotary Fun Run, so you'll have to go back and rerun the program to catch that part. Evelyn Brown's here. Hey, Evelyn. In sports today, Brazil's Clausen is making a name for herself as a jockey. You can read about that in a story from Shelbyville. And let's see. What else do we have here? Well, we've got our spring sports schedule. Tell you what's going on in local sports for the week ahead. Clay County Planner, tell you all the things that's going on that you can do. We already talked about the Rotary Fun Run, and we've got a couple of pictures from that inside. And let's see, what else do we have? We've got the list of Clay City High School's Awards Day from May 12th. And you can read all about those in today's edition of the Brazil Times. And let's see, I'm going to look at the front page of Saturday's edition in case you missed it. You can always pick these up at the Brazil Times office, which is at 531 East National Avenue, right down here between the Chamber of Commerce office and Walgreens. Well, we had that story on Saturday. Taryn Johnson, a 4th grade student in Nanette Brown's class at Jackson Township Elementary School, won a statewide essay contest sponsored by the Indianapolis 500. Her subject, why she would choose her father to be the Indianapolis 500 Festival Parade Grand Marshal. Her dad, James Johnson, passed away 2 months ago, a victim of Alzheimer's disease. He had been gone a very short time when she wrote her winning essay. And you can read more about that online or in Saturday's edition of the Brazil Times. Okay, let's see here. We also have this story. When the US 40 drainage project was completed in downtown Brazil, there was a happy though unexpected consequence, said Pastor Mark Thompson of Brazil's First Baptist Church. I think our church is on the lowest spot in Brazil, he said. Before the US 40 project was completed, water drained from both the north and south ends of Brazil and flooded the church's property. Recently, the congregation decided to build a new playground for the CRADLES ministry, which meets in the church building. The church board thought they would have to pay to raise the area for the playground or for a drainage project. Either prospect would have been expensive, the pastor said. However, here's the good news. After heavy rains fell this spring, it was noticed the church ground did not flood as it has in the past. Other people have noticed the improvement also. Thompson said he spoke to Brazil Mayor Brian Windham about the improved drainage at this month's meeting of the Clay County Chamber of Commerce, and the mayor said his office did not receive nearly as many calls about flooding as it has in the past. So the pastor's very happy about that. I'm sure the church is happy about it, and I'm sure CRADLES is happy about it. So that's a win-win-win situation. And let's see here. The Clay County Redevelopment Commission has won kudos from the county commissioners and other elected bodies. Now it is their accounting firm, Umbaugh and Associates, Indianapolis, adding to the praise. Umbaugh's Jason Semler presented a written report to the Redevelopment Commission during its regular meeting last week. It detailed an annual analysis of tax increment financing, the status of bonds and tax abatement in Clay County. The Redevelopment Commission makes recommendations to the the Clay County Council and the Brazil City Council after meeting with those seeking tax relief or seeking the county's help with new construction. Everything you've set out to do for your area, you've accomplished that, Semler said after presenting the report. Redevelopment Commission President Tom Ames said the annual report is a valuable planning tool. Every time you present this, I learn something, and it's very beneficial, Ames said. And on Saturday, we also reported North Clay Middle School 7th grader Emma Dixon is the most recent artist whose work has been purchased for the school's student art collection. Her artwork has been framed and will be displayed permanently at North Clay alongside artwork from previous year's selections. Dickinson received $50 toward a U.S. savings bond. Congratulations to Emma Dickinson for her good work. A lot more for you on our website, www.thebraziltimes.com. Also, stop by and pick up a copy of the Brazil Times if you don't have one, and that'll be something for you to appreciate and keep, I'm sure. Terry Castor's here. Hey, Terry, glad to see you today as well. I'm Frank in the Brazil Times newsroom. We'll see you later.